Hey everyone, Samantha here. In today's video, I'm going to be setting up my monthly bullet journal spread. Now, if you've already watched my bullet journal 2021 video setup, links above, I do not change my monthly spreads from month to month. I know what I like. I like to sit down, have my spreads done within a span of 30 or so minutes, and it's so nice to do at the beginning of each month. And so what I want to do in today's video is just show you how I set up my monthly spreads. And yeah, hopefully you learned something in this video. Hopefully you take something away. If you do, please make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know which spread is your favorite spread, which one you'll be incorporating into your bullet journal. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so grab your markers, grab your ruler, and of course, grab your notebook. Before we get started, I just want to point out this cute little gift that Dom got me for my birthday. I haven't named him yet, so please let me know in the comments below what I should name him. But he holds my pens and pencils whenever I'm working. Oh, he's adorable. It's like one of those gifts that you didn't know you wanted, but when you got it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. All right, so let's get started. So first, I'm going to show you what my monthly cover page looks like. Here it is. Here's what I did for January. As you can see, very simple, very clean, and easy to kind of create. So let's just jump in and do it. So as you can see, I'm flipping back and forth between my cover page from January, counting out the dots to figure out where the middle section is, and that's where I'm going to write February. And unfortunately, it's kind of a little faint here. Don't worry, I'll fix it in a second. Next, we need to do the circle bit, and for this, I'm going to use a glass. Nothing fancy here, just a good old pint glass. You can use whatever circular thing you have laying around the house, but once you find that circular thing, you're just going to go ahead, put it on the paper, and trace around that. All right, so once I have everything sketched out and kind of where I want the placement to be, I'll then go in with my Uniball fine liner 0.3 pen and just outline everything. Everything that I have is linked below. I mentioned kind of most of these materials in my other video. As you can see, I erased the first February that I did and just kind of freehand it, and that's okay to do too. You definitely don't have to get everything right on the dots. All right, so now that we have everything outlined, we're going to color it. And for the month of February, I've chosen the color purple. And so I'm just gonna grab my purple Crayola marker here, nothing fancy, and just outline everything. Sorry, that's a little bit out of focus. I fix that here in a second. But the last step that we're going to do for this cover page is just all of the dots kind of going upwards toward the middle of the page. For this, I kind of did 2 rows of dots before I moved up to the next level, and then just continue that all the way up the page, sometime increasing the levels 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots. You can kind of see what I did here, but it just makes a really nice kind of elevation effect. And that is our cover page. So here's an example of what my cover page from last year looked like. I just had the first 3 letters of the month and the month in between and colored it for whatever color that month was supposed to be. A little extra idea for you guys. All right, so the next page I set up in my monthly spread is going to be our monthly calendar. And here is where I get to kind of take a look at how the month is going to be looking like event-wise. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically just kind of creating one big calendar for this page, and I'm going to put my events underneath it. So I'm starting out by just doing a 4x4 square calendar. So each calendar part of it has 4 dots in between. So I'm just switching back and forth between this page to the yearly, which is really a reason why I have the yearly the way that I do, because it just makes it so easy to flip back and forth to make sure that you're putting the correct dates and have as many rows as you need to when you're setting up this page. Once I have a rough sketch, I go in with my fine liner and just make the lines for the calendar. I don't include any of the days that aren't in this week. So as you can see at the top, I left Sunday without a border, and then Monday through Saturday, I also left without a border because they aren't included in the month of February. And I just like how this calendar looks. You can of course include all of the calendar days in your outlines if you'd like to, but this is just how I like to do it. So next we're going to do our headers. I start my calendar on Sunday, so let's go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I'm just going to make sure that I have all of the dates in there. So I just write it in the upper left-hand corner throughout the entire calendar. All right, the last thing that we're going to put on this page is an events section. And this is where I can notate any upcoming events for this month, like a birthday that's happening on the 5th and the 14th, which is of course Valentine's Day. So this page is looking pretty bland, which is where our marker comes in, and we're going to highlight kind of some of the key things here. So this events is getting highlight, and then every event itself is actually going to be highlighted on the calendar too, as you can see here. And last but not least, we're going to highlight the days of the week, and that completes our monthly overview page. All right, so moving on, the next page that we're going to create is our monthly habit tracker. So this one is kind of tedious, but I quite like how this setup is. It works for me. Other people like to do kind of fancier habit trackers, but for me, I like to keep it simple and basically just make tons of small little calendars. As you can see here, I have 6 things that I like to track during the month, and those 6 things are games. How often do I play games and let myself relax with games? How many times throughout the month do I work out? How much video work do I do? When do I draw, read, and when do we take the cats for walks? Yes, we take our cats for walks. I just like to track those few simple things throughout each month. And the way that I do that is if I do that thing on that day, I just color in the day. And at the end of the month, I can kind of see how many things I did and when. So it's a good tracker. So below the habit tracker is my monthly goals, and very simple setup here. I just write goals in the upper right hand corner and then put my goals down that I want to do for that month. So one goal that I have for this month is publish my monthly spread video, which I can check off if you are actually watching this. And the way that I do that is I'll just color in the box that's right next to it and then mark it off. All right, so the next page that we're going to set up is our monthly expenses tracker, logger, whatever you want to call it. This is the page that I can track what we're spending that month. And the first section that I'm creating here is really going to be an overview section that doesn't get filled out until the very end of the month. So this first box here is a box that has our topics 1 through 12. These numbers refer to the budget breakdown or topics of how I categorize what I'm spending my money on. If you want to see how I set all this up and what these numbers stand for, go check out my yearly bullet journal spread video. It's all inside of there. So yeah, go check it out. It's good. So this graph that I'm creating here is going to be a kind of a visual for how I spent my expenses this month. I'm going to take all of the totals from the month that are in the first box and transfer it over into the graph section. So let's say, for example, I spent 500 pounds in category 1. I'll put 500 in the first box and then a little graph to go up to the where it says 50 on that graph part, because I like to do my graphs as 5 equals 50, 10, 100, so on and so forth. All right, so this bottom section that I'm creating is where I'm actually going to put all of our expenses so I can look back at it, tally it all up at the end of the month, and then see how much we spent. So I'm creating one big box and then dividing those into 2 columns. And then from here, I'm going to actually make this a little bit prettier and do my favorite way to kind of separate out pages and stuff, and that's just to highlight every other row of dots. I really like how the way that this looks. It's so simple and easy to do, so go ahead and give it a try. So the last step that I'm doing is dividing these 2 columns further and putting some sections in between. So the first section is going to be for cost, how much that item that we bought costed us, what the item was, where we bought it from, things like that, and what category that spend went into. And the way that I tally all these up at the end of the month is I just go through all of the categories. So let's say 3 is for food, and I go through, tally up how much we spent on food that month, and then put that in the upper left-hand corner box. So I found that this really works for me. I don't need too much detail, and I really don't need too much room in terms of how much we're spending. And I'm going to do this exact same thing on this page. Oh, that was a little easy. Once you do one, you know how to do the other, and it looks so nice at the end of the month when you have all this filled in and you can just easily track your expenses. All right, so moving on to our last spread of this video, it is our weekly spread. My weekly spreads don't change. I really just like to get in, figure out my week, and plan anything that I need to plan, and then kind of move on with my day. So very simple setup here. I'm just creating 7 boxes. There's 2 dots in between all the boxes height-wise, and then I just kind of eyeball it for the middle in order to separate them all. This is where the ruler comes in super handy because you're able to make kind of straight lines to get those nice even looks. Next, I'll go in and mark Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all that good stuff, write the dates in for that week. So I'll write any events for the upcoming week inside of those boxes, or if there's any tasks that I need to do on that specific day, I'll write the task inside that box too. For all the other tasks that I need to do throughout the week that really don't have a day that they go on, or that I just want to make sure that I'm aware of that I need to get done, I'll write it in this to-do section here. Alright, so that's the last page, and let's just do a final flip through of all the pages that we created today. Again, guys, it shouldn't take you very long to do this setup. It takes me about 30 minutes to do this spread every single month. I just love it. It's so fast. It's very kind of relaxing, and it may take you a little bit longer to do your first time, but keep at it. It gets easier over time, and you'll actually start to probably find things that you want to change or do yourself that, you know, will make it yours. Anyways, I'm going to hand it back over to Outro Sam. Thank you, VoiceOver Sam. Guys, that's the end of this video today. I hope you enjoyed our monthly setup. Please let me know down in the comments below if you're going to be adding any of these monthly spreads into your bullet journals or your monthly notebook taking things, whatever you do. I would love to know. A lot of you have reached out after the 2021 bullet journal setup, and thank you so very much to everyone who does. I really love giving you my insights and thoughts, and just love seeing your pictures of what you're doing too. It means so much to me that you're watching these videos and that you're trying some of the stuff out that I'm doing. I really feel like we're on a journey together when we do that, so yeah. Hit me up wherever you are on social media. Do all those things I know you know how to do in 2021 on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, all those great things that help the algorithm. But then also just do it because I know that you like to support people and you're a good person. Remember, the door is always open for imagination and creativity, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Da 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 da